This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP Network.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
On this week's episode, we're going to be reviewing Universal Fan Fest Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. You're listening to episode 211 of the Theme Park Duo podcast.
Prepare yourselves for an unforgettable encounter.
Hi, and welcome to the Theme Park Duo podcast. Grab your park map, churro, and hop in line with us as we take you on a coast-to-coast adventure through the world of theme parks, haunts, conventions, and more. Now, here's your hosts, Nikki and Gabriel.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Theme Park Duo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Gabe.
And I'm Nikki.
And we are the Theme Park Duo. And we're back in the center again.
Oh my God, we're back again.
Nice! I'm really proud of you. Your improv skills aren't great, but that was great.
It's Backstreet Boys. Come on.
Backstreet's back. All right.
Everybody.
They're not here for this. Moving on.
Yeah.
No, stop it. We're back. It's been a while. How are you guys doing? We're tired. We had a baby, as you knew. We took some time off, and I'm really thankful that we did, because there was no way in heck recording episodes was ever going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we're here right now.
To be honest,
okay,
yes.
Little guy is 3.5 months old.
Yes.
Knock on wood, he sleeps through the night.
Yes, he does.
Which is why we are here at 8:22 recording an episode. What?
Mind blown. What? Thanks, dude.
Thank you, little guy.
Yeah, no, I'm thanking the child.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for sleeping through the night. And all of you who have been messaging us, asking us when we're going to release episodes, you should be thankful to my child as well.
Yeah.
But, because of that also, we were both able to experience FanFest nights. As many of you know, we have another kid as well. Mm-hmm. She attended with me, and then Nikki went on her own. So at least we kind of got a experience that is from two different nights, two different, experiences as a whole. So we're kind of coming at this from that perspective, which is kind of nice.
Even you went on a Saturday night. I went on a Friday night, you know, so...
2 different days, 2 different experiences. And honestly, I think Nikki and I have not really talked in detail about our experiences, simply based on the fact that we knew we were going to sit here and do this.
Yeah,
so,
we
so
kind
I'm
of
excited to hear your experiences.
Keeping it all wrapped up. I did tell you a little bit, but not
just a little bit. But you didn't go in, like I said, you didn't go into detail about this stuff. And, slight spoiler alert in general, but I mean, I had a lot of fun this year. Mm-hmm. I was very much looking forward to FanFest nights. Last year, the first year of the event, I was very trepidatious about like this new kind of style of event. This new, what are you looking at? What are you looking at?
Oh, no, I was thinking about last year and how I thought it was one IP per night. And I was like, what night are we going?
Everybody was very stressed out.
Yeah.
Like, Back to the Future night's going to be sold out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what ended up happening. But, I was very anxious about, like, a new event. How's it going to work? What is it going to be? Not really having any frame of reference other than a Halloween Horror Nights. But, alas, it ended up being absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I think Universal blew it out the water their very first year. A very, very strong event for a first-year event. Now, going into its second year, a lot of people would call it its sophomore slump. I don't particularly see that being the case.
I disagree.
I think it's a very different year, but I don't necessarily think that it is anything less than what was presented last year. Just very different.
Yeah.
So, we are going to kind of tackle this in just kind of the orientation of what the park is. We're going to go through the park and go from each thing that we experience throughout the night and kind of handle it that way, because that's just the easiest thing. Get it off the plate already. Like, we didn't have any other food. Like, we simply just did not have time. Oh, actually, we both had Scooby snacks. That was literally the only thing that we had. Both of us. The line for Scooby snacks for us was incredibly long. Some kind soul was like, hey, I got you. So they got us Scooby Snacks, and I Venmo'd them.
And then on my night, I wandered into the line by accident, and there was only 3 people in front of me.
What is this line for, Scooby Snacks?
Literally, okay, slightly jumping ahead, but by the time I got down to Scooby-Doo area, I was starving because I had just been jumping from event to event to event, and then like all the lines for food were long, or it's not what I wanted, and so I just found myself in little Europe, and I was like, I'm starving, I'm not gonna make it. And so I get off the tram, the first thing I see is 3 people in line for a cart that I cannot see the contents of, and I'm like, here I am, this is what I'm buying. And then a woman came up to me, she's like, is this the line for Scooby Snacks? And I literally turned to her and I said, I have no idea, I'm just hungry.
So yeah, that's kind of literally the only reason why we both ended up with Scooby Snacks.
Yeah.
Either which way,
they were really good.
They were fairly good.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are getting ahead of ourselves slightly. So let's handle this the way that I mentioned. We'll start at the front of the park and move our way forward through everything that we experienced and kind of talk about things along the way. One thing that I still think they need to bring, and this brings me to my first point leading up before the One Piece kind of stunt show in the Waterworld Stadium, is I desperately think that there needs to be walk around characters on that main avenue.
Yeah.
The main avenue from the moment you enter all the way to like the New York set, kind of where the taxi cab is. I think that is just ripe for I think I said this last year, a scare zone style experience, but not scary.
Yeah, I think that it definitely should have something out there, but it kind of begs the question of what should it be? Like, I don't think the One Piece characters would be good because they're too popular.
Oh, 100% they are far too popular.
Think, like, Sailor Moon and her, forgive my ignorance here, but sisters?
I don't think they're sisters.
Fellow planets?
Sure, yeah, because they're like Venus and Jupiter and Mars and whatever.
Well, anyway, all those ladies.
Where was Uranus? I didn't see it.
All those ladies, like, that would be fine. I think enough people would want to take pictures with them, but it wouldn't be like chaos.
No, it would 100% be chaos. I think in my mind, the way that I picture it is either 2 things. It would be the general Universal Studios characters that you see on a normal everyday basis. Just walking around, interacting with people. You got like the cop character, you got Beetlejuice, you got Shrek or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, those general characters that you end up seeing. Gabby Dollhouse, something of that nature. King Julian, that sort of thing.
Kind of how they had, what's his name during Halloween Horror Nights?
Oh, Hamikuma.
Hamikuma.
Yeah, exactly. Something along those lines. Just something that kind of gives that main pathway some type of
kinetic energy.
Because right now it has absolutely nothing. I will say that I do appreciate that they're playing different music throughout the park this year. Mm-hmm. I didn't notice that last year. This year was a lot more upbeat, fun, kind of like 80s, 90s stuff. And I was kind of digging it. Like I was having a really good time. And I saw a lot of people getting really jazzed hearing 90s music, just because that seemed to be the general vibe of the night. And a lot of the people visiting that night were around that age of like, hey, I grew up in the 90s and that's the music I really, really like.
Yeah.
So, maybe even injecting even more of that into the experience. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they had like a DJ in the main circle courtyard area, but literally
which, by the way, was not nearly as good as having live music as they had last year.
Yeah, so I was gonna say no one went over there. Like I feel like even that area, even if you didn't have walk around characters in there, you could have like 3 meet and greets in there with the music, with the DJ. Yeah. You don't need a whole like food vendor area like you do for HHN.
Well, they had like the DeLorean on the main road, the main path in, like the main street, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
they could have put that into that main circle and put Doc and Einstein,
or even other picture cars.
Anything. Yeah, literally anything.
Yeah, so I mean, just something to bring that energy to that area, because even I said like right before we started recording, I said I felt like there was no need to go over to that area because there was nothing over there, and I felt like there should have been.
Secret Life of Pets and Minions are kind of like an afterthought area.
The normal everyday stuff, but like nothing specific to, oh sorry, I hit the table, nothing specific to the event.
No, yeah, exactly. The only reason why me and the kiddo went over there was because she's like, can we just go on one ride?
Yeah.
So we went on Minion Mayhem.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing we ended up doing. But along with that, if we have those characters there, then it kind of allow for maybe opening moments to kind of happen, which would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you were there at the moment like the rope drop happened. They were just playing kind of these audio cues from the different IPs that you're going to experience throughout the night, but nobody was paying attention to it. It kind of just went over everyone's head, and then everyone's just waiting for them to say, oh, you can go now.
Yeah.
If you have this monumentous kind of opening moment, I feel like it would add a lot more gravitas to it. And I do think it needs it and deserves it, to be fairly honest.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like this event is amazing. And it could be like the not scary equivalent to HHN, which I think it is.
100% it is.
Right now lacking a lot of those like beats that HHN has, like an opening moment and walk around characters, slash scare zones, things like that. So it could be upped in that area.
Yeah, and they could even kind of leave the walk around characters to being like a kind of a randomized thing. It's like, you never know what characters are going to show up every single night. One night you might get One Piece characters, one night you might get Beetlejuice, one night you might get Universal Monsters. You never know.
Yeah.
And I think kind of a randomization of that I think would be kind of fun.
It would be fun.
Either which way, I digress. First experience would be the One Piece stunt show. This is something that I did not get to do with the kiddo. Nikki got to do it, and I'm slightly jealous based on everything that I've seen so far because it looked friggin' awesome.
Yes, it was like a sleeper hit for me. Like, I knew that I wanted to see anything in the Waterworld stage. Whatever it is, I don't care. I'm going to go see it. And
also, both of us know nothing about One Piece, basically.
Nothing about One Piece, and I know it's so popular. And even when I was waiting in the queue, like there was a whole bunch of people around me dressed,
as characters,
head to toe as characters. And they're saying like, this is all I came here for. Like, I'd be happy if I just left after this. Like literally their love for One Piece was extreme. And I did watch the One Piece movie just in preparation for seeing this show. Just so
you had some basis of knowledge.
I knew a little bit of what was going on, and it really did help. But oh my gosh, the energy, the fun, the jokes, the gags that they pulled off. I was like blown away, grinning from ear to ear, like cheering with the rest of the crowd like the whole time. Like it was so good.
The one thing that you communicated to me in the little bit that you did talk to me about was that energy and how different it was from a, Halloween Horror Nights Slaughter World or kind of the Purge style show, where that one is kind of just you're waiting for things to happen. This show seemed like people were there and jazzed just to see these characters in front of them.
They were cheering for every new character and every like trick or joke or anything stunt and on that note, the amount of acrobatics and kicks and tumbles and like karate that these guys were doing, it's like it was like everyone was Jackie Chan. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I was so
oh my gosh, it's Jackie Chan.
impressed.
Oh my gosh, it's Jackie Chan. Oh my gosh,
no, seriously. Like, they were doing like flips in the air while kicking out sideways. Like, I was so impressed. Like, I was screaming half the time just because of the acrobatics that were going on.
It's just very impressive.
Yes,
it's just very impressive to see those sorts
and
of
if
things.
you know anything about One Piece, there's a lot of like physical humor and gags and things that you're like, how are they going to do this in real life? Without it being animated or CG, like how are they going to do these
stretching
things?
bodies,
limbs
falling off,
limbs attacking people and flying off, and like I'm like, how are they going to do that? And they did it so well. Like the timing of these guys, and with their props and everything, and like you believed that these things were happening, and it was just so cool.
Yeah, and it's something that I am really sad that I didn't get to see, and if we get a chance to go back, because I know that FanFest Nights dates are very odd.
Yeah,
they're not normal dates like a Halloween Horror Nights kind of schedule. If we do get the chance to go back, I need to see it.
Yeah,
I definitely need to see it. And what I will say about One Piece as a brand, as an IP, is this is showing how popular certain IPs can be in the park.
Yeah.
And I think we might have mentioned this last year, but it gives them a really good opportunity to kind of test the waters with brand new intellectual properties and saying, oh, we could probably bring this into the parks on a normal everyday basis and make a lot more money.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned at the beginning of this, the line for food, One Piece food was insane. The line for the One Piece bar was insane. The line for the One Piece merch was insane. The line for the One Piece show was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, out of the entire night, One Piece was the thing that had the longest line.
And the same thing last year, pretty much.
Well, I mean, with the character, the meet and greet characters, and the food.
And the
that
food.
was right across the way, because
Yeah.
Sailor Moon is where the One Piece characters were last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the love for the IP is clearly there. So, I think Universal has this opportunity right in front of them to test the waters. And no pun intended when it comes to Waterworld.
Yeah.
And as much as I love Waterworld, would I be mad to replace it with something as good as this? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
That's just me saying that, to be honest. But, you know, I don't want Waterworld to disappear anytime soon. But it is a very good replacement with how popular that IP is.
Yeah, and I mean, it's pirates. Like,
it totally fits.
It works really well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I will cry
Big old dorky fat tear.
enough tears to fill up the Waterworld pool if Waterworld ever goes away. But, you know, times change. And, you know, if the set remains, at least it won't be so sad, you know?
Nah, they would have to completely redo it. It would just look like Waterworld, but One Piece like it is right now.
Hey, it worked right now.
It's true it did work right now, but they would need to make it its own so that, you know,
Yeah.
make it even better.
No, yeah, and, you know, they fit the story around the Waterworld pyrotechnics and
Yeah.
gags that go
Yeah.
off normally. You know, they fit the story to what they had to work with.
Some
And
dude was doing kung fu kicks with his foot on fire.
yeah,
That was awesome.
I saw that.
No duh. Anyway.
I took the video.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I was there.
I was there.
No.
Okay.
Moving on. Next piece of experience that we ended up seeing, at least I did, was the Sailor... You know, I'm going to look it up so I get it right, because I actually think the name is kind of silly. It's Sailor Moon, but the show was called... Oh, it's so small. The font is so small. Pretty Guardian, Sailor Moon, The Miracle, Moon Palace Chapter Deluxe.
Oh my gosh. That sounds made up.
It's not, trust me. I walked into the theater and I was like, what the crap name is that? And again, the show was taken from Universal Studios Japan.
Well, that's what I was
over
going to say.
here.
What I was going to say is that title sounds translated.
Probably. And you could tell that just very much like the Halloween Horror Nights show that was at HHN last year, that was transferred from the same movie theater where you could tell that there were certain effects that it was supposed to be doing inside the audience, like the tingly under the feet.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be 3D, all these things, but we don't have that in our theater, so it's not going to be able to do that. At least we have like water effects and the seats moving and things like that.
Yeah.
I think I told you when I got home, I was like, that thing was a fever dream.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the heck was happening. Like, I don't know enough about Sailor Moon for me to have a general idea of the story of the show.
Uh-huh.
All I know is that, you know, she's Sailor Moon, and then there's like Jupiter and Venus and like all the other ones, and they all have powers. But then this bad guy was trying to capture them, and she turned into this giant disco ball spider thing that was like sucking them into her body and taking their powers.
Dang.
They were all fighting. It was, I don't know. It was crazy.
I mean, I don't know anything about Sailor Moon either.
I will say, like, her turning into Sailor Moon with like the outfit is very iconic. Like,
Yeah.
even if you didn't watch it, you're
Everyone's
aware of
seen
what
that,
that looks
yeah.
like. You know, and the moment that it happened, I was like, I remember this. I remember my sister watching this.
Yeah.
So, you know, it even triggered memories in my brain, you know, when I was sitting there in the theater watching it. It was funny, when we were done, I looked over at our kid, and she just had like this blank look on her face. It might have been a mixture of her being tired and also just being like, what the heck did I just watch?
Probably both.
A little bit of both. You know, there's plenty of people in there who were wearing Sailor Moon clothes and costumes, and people who are pumped to see it.
I mean,
so
a lot
that
of people
is the
love
audience that's
Sailor
for.
Moon. Like, you know, it wasn't my thing when I was young, but like a lot of my friends love Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
So it has its audience for sure.
Yeah, it ain't me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I
like,
knew nothing about it. I did appreciate being able to sit down for 15 minutes.
I like anime, but very specific anime. And One Piece and Sailor Moon ain't it.
Inuyasha. What else? Oh, that was a soda can.
I like Bleach. I like Naruto. I like Fruits Basket. If anyone's heard it, send us an email, themeparkduo@gmail.com. That's my favorite of all time.
Nerd.
And then like anything Miyazaki. I love all
True.
Miyazaki.
Does Miyazaki count?
It's anime, but it's like movies.
In my mind, it's like it is a separate category of anime.
But yeah, well, and Inuyasha was my first love. Then
what was that one you were watching on TV where they were in school?
This is like every...
Did I just describe every anime?
Yeah.
No, I just remember you watching it.
Oh, I also Full Metal
Alchemist.
No, Full Metal Panic and Full Metal Alchemist. I watched both of those. Those were really good.
I don't know. Whatever the one that you were watching, they were in school. It kept cutting back to like full screen graphics and like this really weird music.
I don't know what that means. Full screen graphics.
It was like full screen, nobody on it, and it was just like a title, and it kept cutting back to it.
I also watched Ouran High School.
Why
Host
do you not
Club.
answer my question?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
I described it so well.
I don't know what that means. I still don't know what that means.
Moving on, I guess. Moving on. Okay. Moving on from Sailor Moon. We've talked enough. Stop. Don't look at me like that. We've talked enough about anime.
Okay.
Someone else come on the show and talk to her about anime because she clearly wants to talk about it. No more. Moving on. Moving to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, where in this land you are going to be finding Forbidden Forest Search for the Hippogriff. Now, the one thing I will say, prefacing this, I didn't know where the heck to look.
Same.
I did not know where the entrance was. I didn't know where to go. There was no signage to the entrance. I didn't see anything. So,
oh, wait, I wanted to say one thing.
Is it about anime?
No,
Okay,
it's
good. Continue.
it's about going into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I want to give a shout out to the they're not called
Conductor?
They're not called cast members. What are they called?
Team members.
Team members. To the team member who was stationed at the right of the entrance of Hogsmeade. Like if you're staring at the entrance of Hogsmeade, he was on the right. He was hyped all night long. Like from the moment I walked by him, at opening till I was leaving the park at a little after midnight, he was like, yeah, woo! And he was like screaming and getting everyone who walked past him hyped up.
Cocaine.
And he had like glow sticks in his hand, and he was like getting everyone to
so
like
he's
chant.
like Terry Crews and White Chicks?
Yeah. I never saw that
Okay,
movie.
never mind.
And he was just like, he was whatever music was on, he was dancing to it, and I literally never saw him, like on a scale from 1 to 10, I never saw him below a 7.
There was like 10 empty Red Bull cans below him.
Probably. That's the only way he could have stayed fueled for that long. I was like, I took 2 videos of him, but each time I took a video, he wasn't quite as high energy as but so I'm like, oh man.
Were his pupils like really dilated?
No, all I'm saying is props to that guy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Just adding to the energy and the fun of the night.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But you know what he didn't do? Tell people where the hell to look for the Hippogriff.
No, seriously, I had no idea where to go either. I ended up like opening the app and like zooming in and seeing that it said Hippogriff at the entrance to Forbidden Journey.
There just needed to be a sign at the entrance of the land that said Hippogriff experience at the entrance of the ride or something.
Yes.
Whatever it is, like whatever it needs to be.
Because I was because my whole way through Hogsmeade I was searching for a sign, and I almost turned right after Ollivanders. I almost turned right there because there's like a little like locker thing that's I was like, oh, maybe I have to go back there, and I would have gone completely the wrong direction.
So you actually have to get all the way to the ride where there's a sign for the Hippogriff attraction, which the queue for, at least for us, for for both express and the regular queue, you have to go into the queue for the ride, and then there's a separate line for the experience.
Which it's also still a little confusing because there were some girls like that were behind me who assumed that the ride was closed because the entrance to the Hippogriff experience was in there.
Nah, there's a wait time on there. They're just done.
I didn't see it. I only saw the wait time for Hippogriff.
The wait time was up there in the big digital sign.
I don't know.
It was 5 minutes all night.
Nice.
I'm surprised you didn't go on it.
Honestly, me too. Man.
I think something just broke in Nikki's head. Something just broke. Something snapped.
I never go on it.
I know you don't.
I could have gone on it.
You could have.
I was thinking about rides.
No, you weren't thinking about rides at all.
I was just thinking about experiences.
That's fine. You did your job.
Oh, I did.
I appreciate you.
I was tired.
Thank you for your service.
I was tired. Hippogriff was one of the last things I did, so I was pretty tired.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we did it pretty early on, so, our memories of this are pretty vivid.
Mine are also pretty vivid because it was one of the last things I did.
Oh, well, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Glad you didn't do it earlier. I mean, I don't know.
I remember One Piece too. What do you think of my memory?
It's bad.
I remember it, sir.
There are certain things where I talk to you about things and you're just like, nope.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even try. Yeah. Like, there's no attempt in recalling information. It's just, nope.
That's 100% true.
So,
but I remember everything about FanFest Mates.
What is the name of the attraction that we're talking about right now?
Hippogriff. Look for the hippogriff.
Let me look it
Journey.
up. She's right. She's right. Gold star.
Forbidden Journey, search for the hippogriff. Something like that. No,
Forbidden Forest, search for the hippogriff.
I was so close.
You were wrong 3 times. Anyway, so this particular experience, I wasn't quite sure what to expect because I knew that they were building it out within the extended queue of the attraction.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't understand how they're going to do this. There's not enough space. Like, what is it going to be? Obviously, you're not just going to be like, oh, there's the hippogriff, boom, thing over. I wasn't sure. So I was pleasantly surprised with what they were able to create within the space that they had. Additionally, while it is an extended queue that's made out of concrete, they put dirt on the floor.
Yeah.
So it made it feel like you were walking through the Forbidden Forest with, fake fireflies everywhere and sound design and soundscapes. And I love that because the moment that we came outside of the castle, where you enter the experience, and, granted, I could still see the main thoroughfare of the Wizarding World, I still felt like, oh my God, we're on the outskirts of the Forbidden Forest right now. Like, it felt real, and I loved that.
It really did. Like, I had never been back there before in the daytime or any of it because they never needed the extended queue.
I think when it first opened,
when it first opened, yeah. But I mean, it's such a great utilization of that space, and it really did feel like a forest. Like, they did a great job.
They did a really, really good job. I think they were lucky that the entire queue had so many trees.
Yes.
As it was anyway.
Yeah.
So they got really lucky being able to hide, animatronics or, mechanisms, lighting packages and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, I thoroughly enjoyed this. And, as you kind of go through the experience, you're kind of seeing different creatures and things of that nature. You encounter a giant spider, pixies, the Monster Book of Monsters, a centaur, obviously a hippogriff. Mm-hmm. There's a moment where you have to cast a spell to undo a devil snare, things of that nature. And while you don't necessarily need a wand, and it's not interactive in that way, it is really fun to bring a wand and have, the character that you're kind of wandering the Forbidden Forest with ask you for help to kind of have moments happen.
Yeah.
Nobody in our group had a wand, so she was just saying, everybody yell it out loud.
There was one little girl in our group who had a wand. She was the only one.
Really? Oh, and our kiddo was with us was the only little girl in our group, so she got called on a lot too. Yeah,
so it was really cute, and our guy, and like I just like the different people who are leading these groups. They bring their own energy. Like your experience was way different than mine. Mine was a little bit more comedic.
To be abundantly clear, you're not just wandering through by yourself. Every group has a guide that is either like a teacher or somebody from Hogwarts that is telling you that we are going to go help this hippogriff. Like, they found a feather and it's still warm, so they're close. Yeah. And we need to go through the forest, stay close. It's super dangerous. And that's why we're encountering all these different things before we find our hippogriff.
Yeah. Yeah. Ours, my I don't know if like they were able to put their own spin on it, but mine was like helping Hagrid.
Our guide was also helping Hagrid.
Okay, same.
I think when it comes to the overarching story of the attraction, it's going to be the same.
But then it's like the little spin they put on it. Yeah,
it's the spin they put on it. Like, was your guy goofy? And like, oh my gosh, I'm really scared, kind of stuff. Yeah, our person wasn't scared. It was like, we're in the Forbidden Forest. I know this place. Follow me. Like, confident.
Yeah.
Yours was that bumbling oaf of I'm scared of everything kind of person. Yeah, that's what I gauged by kind of what you were saying.
Yeah.
Which,
but it was still fun.
Both work. Both definitely work. I think just depending upon like what you like with your experience, it might turn out whether you like it a little bit more or less. I don't know.
Well, it was funny. Like, even with the wands, like, he gave the rest of us a hard time. Like, you come into the Forbidden Forest, you don't even have your wands? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
See, that's great.
Yeah.
It leads to really fun moments that are probably a little bit more ad-libbed.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate those moments. We were really lucky because there was a woman in I almost said SUV. And a scooter wheelchair, whatever the acronym for that is. And we just happened to be right behind her, so we were at the front of the group every single time.
I don't think there's an acronym for that.
Could have sworn there
I think
was.
it's just a scooter.
Electrical scooter.
A rascal.
Rascal. Yes, one of them. And we just happened to be at the front every single time, so we got a good view of every single moment that happened, which was, I appreciated.
Yeah.
Especially the ending, which, for me and us, as a whole, we love the music from the movies. We absolutely love the John Williams score. It is an integral part of that kind of experience with those characters in the movies. So when you finally get to your hippogriff and you help the hippogriff out of Devil's Snare, the swelling used John Williams music brought a tear to my eye. Like, I wasn't expecting to be moved to tears.
And also
in that
just
moment.
The animatronic, so impressive.
It's like a puppet animatronic hybrid thing.
Beautiful.
It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And like them saying like it's a proper protocol or whatever to bow
when
to
we
a
bowed,
hippogriff.
yeah.
And everybody bows, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm getting teary eyed thinking about it. It was just a very powerful moment, and I don't think that they would have been able to do that if it weren't for the strong storytelling leading up to that moment, and also the utilization of the music throughout the experience and leading up to that very big ending moment. I was gobsmacked. I thought it was so good. I was so impressed, not only with the actors who were the guides, but with the timing of everything. Even it's so hard because my brain just never shuts off when I'm doing things. And while I'm able to take myself out of thinking and kind of just put on my fun hat and just experience what's in front of me, I'm still looking around. I'm like, I wonder how they do that. I wonder how they do that. I see this thing and that connects to this thing. And the one thing that popped in my brain was the next group.
Yeah.
Like, I barely see the next group.
That's what I was literally about to say. I was very impressed with their pacing and spreading out of everything so you weren't distracted by the group ahead of you. Yeah. Like, I think there was only one time where I was vaguely aware of the thing we were going into next because I saw a little bit of it. But other than that,
was it because it was like that large flash?
It was the bright light. Yeah. But other than that, like, I completely forgot there was another group in front of us and another one behind us because they did a very, very good job with the pacing.
Yeah, the pacing really, really helped. The timing was helpful, but also just the engagement of the moments allowed you to kind of forget about that next group too. Yeah. Because you're completely engaged in what this person is saying. And because they're far away enough and because it's dark enough, you don't see anything in peripherals unless, a large moment happens where the lights flash or whatever it is. So thoroughly impressed with this. Thoroughly impressed with the Harry
Sleeper
Potter
hit.
experience.
I wasn't expecting much of it. So
honestly, I wasn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect, but I left with tears in my eyes and clapping.
Yeah.
Like, I was clapping. And even like the team members saw me coming out and you could see that they were happy that I was happy.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And then additionally, even within the Wizarding World, you had, somebody carrying like a baby dragon on their arm. And, you had the various different creatures that you could meet in the Wizarding World, which I think is great to still have. I miss the I don't remember the name of the creature, but it was the creature that's gets small when it's in a small space and big when it's outside of it. It was wrapped around the guy.
Yeah, it's from the
newer
Magical
movies.
Creatures.
Magical Creatures movies, yeah. Mm-hmm. I missed that because he was really cool, and I was hoping I could show the kiddo that creature, but it's fine. I'll take the hippogriff thing for not having that, which is totally okay. But I still like that there were still small little experiences on your way in and out of Hogsmeade. Moving on from that, we're going to move to the studio tour, where we're going to be talking about Scooby-Doo meets the Universal Monsters and the case of the Phantom Director. Now, this was my most anticipated experience going into the event. I don't know about what yours was, but this was hands down mine.
I was excited about it for sure, and I was just excited about going onto another part of the backlot that I've never walked around on before.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was just kind of my excitement and anticipation was spread out over the whole event. Like I didn't have one thing that was like, oh, I'm so excited for this specific.
I mean, like I was excited for a lot of things, but this one had the most excitement for.
Yeah.
And I think that's because I grew up watching Scooby-Doo, because that's like that gateway horror kind of thing. I'm absolutely in love with the Universal Monsters. And then additionally, on top of it, you get to go to Little Europe.
Yeah.
Where the Universal Monsters were born.
That was the best part. Honestly,
insane.
I was walking around just like looking at the buildings like half the time. I was like, oh.
you know where the fountain was?
Yeah.
What is it called? The fountain is called something. I don't remember. The Court of Miracles.
Court of Miracles.
Court of Miracles. We were standing there. You know how they had the little stage in front of the fountain? I was talking to our kid, and I was just like, this is where they filmed the movies. You remember the black and white things that you've seen? Yeah. This is where they filmed it. All that stuff happened here that long ago, and you're standing here. Like, you could see that her brain was kind of like sparking, and smoke was coming out of her ears, like not being able to fully comprehend what I was saying, but understanding like, oh my God, this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So I was very excited. Very, very, very excited. I just didn't know how it was going to happen, how that experience was going to play out, how they were going to kind of allow the mystery to unfold, how they do the reveals, all the little minutia of how an experience like that happens. Now, when you get to the queue of the studio tour and you're about to get on the tram, they hand you a booklet. And the booklet, I have it in my hands right now, it says Mystery Inc. Manual, the case of the Phantom Director. And then on the inside, it gives you a general idea of what the experience is. And then there's the plan, and then everything that you need in order to help solve the mystery.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give you guys the general gist that is from this booklet. It says, the Phantom Director unleashed the monsters in the backlot. We've narrowed down the culprits down to 4 suspects. Now we need your help to unmask the villain and save the movie, Velma. So basically the story is that you're going to the backlot to film a movie called Monsters, Monsters, Monsters. And as you're going down to the backlot, you get a video up on your screen of these different people who are working on the movie. And they're saying a lot of sus things. Yeah. A lot of sus things. And then the Phantom Director pops up on the thing. He's like, I'm taking over this set. And then the giant murals of the Universal Monsters, as he says them, get lit up. And then when you get dropped off, that's when the experience kind of starts. And you get off and they're playing the Scooby-Doo music. Yeah. which is super duper cute. So after that, it says the plan. Use the map on the back of this pamphlet that I'm holding to find the 4 clues around Little Europe. Solve clues in any order. Use what you learn to cross names off the suspect page. The last remaining suspect is the Phantom Director. Head to the big reveal to see if you were right. And then on each page is a suspect, their likes, dislikes, and possible motives, their names, and what they do. So suspect 1 is Max Flash, the producer of the movie. He likes art house cinema, but he dislikes axolotls. Can't touch anything with them. Possible motive: he landed investors for his directorial debut on one condition: start filming in Little Europe immediately. Sabotage may be how he makes it happen. So then you have June Steele, who is the security guard. Then you have Carla Spin, who is the publicist, and then Artie Pressman, who is the art director. And then the rest of it kind of is Velma, Daphne, Fred, and Shaggy's different areas that you go to go talk to them, and the different clues associated with the different things that you have to kind of solve. And there's a suspects page with notes, so you can kind of keep notes on everything. There's a map on the back, and then another notes page. So they're supposed to have pens out. I did not see anybody giving me a pen. So me and the kiddo were just kind of running around, just remembering it in our head.
I did see people. I did not use the booklet when I was there. I forgot to grab one on my way onto the tram, and then I didn't see where you get them when you were there. But I was just there for vibes. I wasn't there to solve the actual mystery.
Immaculate.
Yes, and so I was just having a good time walking around, and everyone else was super into like solving it. You know, they were looking for all the clues, and I did see people writing stuff down, so they must have found pens.
Yeah, I just don't know where they were.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll get into kind of like a quote unquote review of what I think about it after we kind of talk about what the experience entails. And then, you know, there's the different locations for the different kind of mysteries, or clues that you're trying to solve, so you can kind of mark them down, and they're kind of spread out. The issue that I had is that some of them were only in one location, not like a couple, so that everyone was piled into one little spot trying to like get to the front of the group to see the information so they could keep going.
Yeah.
And I find that an issue. I know that the footprint isn't big, but there needs to be a way to spread people out a little bit, because it got hairy, especially with a kid.
Yeah. And like even the Friday I went was incredibly not busy.
Yeah.
And it was even a lot back there. Like I was like, I'm good. I'm just gonna hang out in the back. I see that
I think I told you that.
Yeah. So I kind of stayed clear of the crowds. Like I was like watching everything that was happening, and I was basically following the Universal monsters around. So you
to clarify, I told you, I was like, hey, don't bother with it. It's super stressful to like get into the crowds. Just enjoy it.
And that's not my thing. So I was like I said, I was just there for vibes, and I had a great time.
See, I wouldn't have done it, but the kiddo was like, I want to solve this.
Of course. And that's what it's for.
And she was all about it. Like she was like, I don't know. Let's look at this clue. Oh my gosh, I don't think it's this part. We've narrowed it down. It's these two people now. I think it's this person.
And that's what it's all about, honestly.
And really, that is what it's about. You know, she was really into it, and she was very excited to see the Universal monsters because she likes them too. And the one cool thing is that you kind of have this dichotomy of those characters and kind of how they're wrapped up in the story between their two show moments, because there are two show moments with them. Where you have this show moment, it's near Velma's location, where there's like a little stage off to the left, and the lighting fixture around the stage it puts their shadows and their outlines up onto the wall, and they're playing movie scenes up to the right, and each monster that goes up there, it feels like they're in pain. You know, the way that I'm going to describe it is weird, but it feels like performance art.
No, it does.
It feels very much like performance art, where you're seeing a physical embodiment of the pain that these monsters are feeling. Because I think at the end of the day, regardless of whatever monster it is, Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, or Bride of Frankenstein, they all are sympathetic in some sort of way. And this little moment is to show you that. And then the second show scene is to see them controlled by the Phantom Director, which is the reason why they have that glowing stuff all over them. And even the distinct difference between the two, you know, that one is super emotional, and this one is like almost like runway techno music of them on stage being controlled. And I found that to be really fascinating to me, because I do think that while there is this manual that I'm holding that says like, hey, you're supposed to do all this stuff, from a visual and audio standpoint, it is selling that story even more from the emotional side of things. And I thought that goes over so many people's heads, but the first thing I thought was that. And I loved it for that. It is just slightly deeper than what is on the surface. And while the monsters are walking around, interacting, and scaring people, it is still very cool to see them approached in that manner.
Yeah, and it's not something they usually get to do.
No.
So it's fun for them too, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
One thing we did, and they're still right here sitting next to us, the kiddo and I brought a stuffed Wolfman and a stuffed Frankenstein's monster with us. So these were actually sent to us by Universal for our baby. So we've had it in his little nursery with him, but we took them that night because I was like, kiddo, it would be hilarious to like whip out the Wolfman doll and in front of Wolfman, and he'll probably be like all super. 100% they were.
Yeah.
They thought it was great. Like they grabbed them and were like looking at them like, what is this thing? And Frankenstein's monster was like super enthralled with like looking at himself, and he was like, he put his whole hand on my head, and stuff. It was a really fun interaction. And throughout that experience, even between the solving of the clues or the mystery, you have those fun interactions. Like we were standing over by the food stall where they were selling the Scooby snacks, and Wolfman was sniffing people's food as he was kind of going off for a different set, like a set break,
Wolfman actually gave me a good scare. I was taking a picture of
the food.
Oh no, it was myself holding the Scooby snacks box. So I was taking a selfie, and so I'm taking a selfie, and then all of a sudden I feel I don't feel it, but I hear in my ear like sniff sniff, and it was the Wolfman. He was like right here in my ear. I was like, oh my god.
And the thing is, like, we don't get scared at horror nights, but easy to scare us when we're not.
My guard was completely down.
Our guards are completely down.
But it was funny. Oh, and then also they had some fun snacks down there because they were other than the Scooby snacks, they were basically like the large size
food.
Like junk food that like Shaggy and Scooby would eat, like the big sandwiches, like 5 layers tall with like chips stuffed in them and like all that stuff.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, that's so fun.
They had a gigantic hot dog.
Yeah,
like the thing was massive. And when the kiddo and I were eating our Scooby snacks for a second, this guy who was like, "Hey, can I use your table too?" And he puts this, like, I felt like it thumped down.
I saw someone order it.
And he was cutting it up and giving it to his family. So, like, that whole giant foot-long, like, more than foot-long, like 3 feet long hot dog was feeding a full family.
Yeah, no, because I was in line, and there was a group of 4 behind me, and they're like, man, we should get the hot dog. And they're like, we can't finish that. We're between the 4 of us. They were, like, arguing about it.
So, I mean, aside from all that, I wish that the Scooby gang, the Mystery Inc. gang kind of interacted with each other. Because
they're all separate until the end. Like
Scooby's at the front for a meet and greet.
Yeah.
And then each one of the characters are at their own tent. So you never get to see them interact until the big reveal.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I was missing.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Scooby interact with Shaggy.
I do get why, like, they kept it all very like
I like how I said I was going to wait for my review to the end, and I completely jumped to it.
Well, I get why, especially in that area of the backlot in Little Europe. I get why they had everything pretty, and like except for the roaming monsters, like pretty static. Like they stay where they stay, and that's it, because it is a much more uneven terrain than Back to the Future.
Very good point.
So people could slip or whatever if you were following the group of characters back and forth, trying to solve a mystery or whatever.
Yeah.
So I get why they did it logistically, but you're right. I would have liked to seen at least a little bit more interaction.
Yeah. Oh, I have a couple more points, but I'm going to get back to it after we kind of talk about the big reveal. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how that was going to happen. I even asked a couple team members, like, hey, when's the big reveal? I don't want to miss it. Yeah. Like, oh, it happens like every 15 minutes. You just go wait in that line and then they let everyone in. Yeah. I was like, okay, I guess that kind of works. So we got in line for the big reveal and they start letting everybody in, and it's kind of secluded into this little corner. Yeah. Where it's not really a great spot for everyone to see, especially I was in the back group. Especially if you have kids. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way they're going to see it. Yeah. And they are like, the whole gang is on stage and this whole thing plays out, and then they reveal whoever the person is, and it's like, oh, cool, we did it. And they do the whole thing, the whole Scooby, like, oh, we're you meddling kids with that dumb dog. Yeah. Yeah. And the whole thing. It's great. It's cute. It's really cute. Except it took a little bit away from me. The fact that it was pushed into this little corner.
It felt like an afterthought. Like you
It
could
did
have,
feel like
you
an
could
afterthought.
skip it. You know, it wasn't like oh, and especially like I don't want to compare it to last year,
Also,
but like
we will get to that.
yeah,
But a lot of it takes place on screens too.
Yes.
Like above kind of the set where the characters are.
yeah,
So, you know, while you are looking up at a majority of it, there's still stuff on the stage level that you're not going to see if you're too short.
yeah,
You know, I was able to push the kiddo to the front because I was like 3 rows back, and there was a small little path, and I was like, just go right there. And people let her go up to the front so she could see it.
Yeah.
Because if it weren't for that, she wouldn't have seen anything. And it's not like I'm going to put her on my shoulders in front of everyone else. That's just rude.
yeah,
So I do think that, you know, while it was cute, there could have been a little bit more thought put into how to display the actual big reveal.
yeah.
So, I mean, do we need to have it be on stage? Could the big reveal just be put on the TV screens on the tram on the way back? Would it be a letdown to you to not have it be on a stage? Would it be a letdown for it to get back on the tram and then they play the ending and it play out like a cartoon?
No, not necessarily.
I
Probably
feel
would
like
have been fine.
I feel like that probably would have been a better idea,
Yeah.
just to give everything more space.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're basically doing the same thing
yeah.
by putting everything up on the screen above the stage.
Well, yeah, and with it being like an extra thing you have to go wait in line for, half the people don't see it anyway.
I mean,
So would you
we
rather
heard
have-
people skipping it just
Yeah.
because they're like, we're not going to wait in
So
line for
would
that.
you rather have everyone see it on the tram or have half your guests not bother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think having it on the tram would be totally fine.
Yeah. it would've
Totally
been
fine. You know, so the thing that I wanted to kind of talk about was, as much as we praised the fact that it was in Little Europe, I do think that it being in Little Europe
Was a hindrance.
was a hindrance and caused some logistical issues.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know where things are. I don't know what the flow of things are, where things are happening. I feel like there's not enough space here for what they want it to be. As much as it was cool to have it where the Universal monsters were born.
Yeah.
You know, because there was like, I was a little confused because like on the tram, he's like, let the monsters be unleashed. And then I assumed that they were going to be right there, but they weren't. Then there was like another part where he's like, Dracula, ha ha ha. And then he comes out from like an alleyway and he makes this generator thing spark or something, you know, and every character gets that moment. And then they have another show moment on the first stage, and then they have another show moment on the second stage. I just found it a bit confusing.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely like, yeah, I guess it didn't have like a flowing story like Back to the Future did or anything like that.
I mean, but also the map, it's not super helpful either.
Yeah, I mean, it lends itself to what it is. You kind of just have to wander around and you see what you see. And if you miss something, you don't know what you're missing because you don't know what's happening.
But do you want your guests to miss things? That's my thing, is that you want them to experience all of it and figure out what the mystery is. That's the whole point of this.
Well, yeah, but they can do that. But then if they miss a show moment or something, it doesn't matter, you know?
I mean, realistically, there's only one show moment.
Yeah.
They're really, like, one main show moment, and that's the big reveal. Like, the little moments other than that, like, I didn't even know they were happening.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see it if they told me that, like, hey, this is where this thing happens, this is where this thing happens, this is where this thing happens.
Yeah.
But they didn't say any of that. So I just find myself sitting around waiting, trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was doing too. I think that's just what you get with the nature of having something completely new and organic. You know, it's like, you know what to expect with Back to the Future. You know the movie.
Yeah.
You know, so you know what happens and in what order.
Agreed.
So with this, having it be just a little bit more organic and chaotic, it is what it is.
Yeah. And I do think that there are people that are going to really love how involved this is. Mm-hmm. And I think there's going to be a lot of people who absolutely despise how involved this is.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get those two types of people who are coming into this experience. If we are unfortunately comparing it to Back to the Future, which is the other big experience that they had last year.
It's kind of hard not to.
It's really hard
Yeah.
not to, which one, let's be 100% honest, there's nothing on that level this year.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing on that level this year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. With Back to the Future, even if you didn't want to interact with those characters, there's still ambiance, there's still food, and there was games, and there was little experiences and passive experience. When you were here, there was less of that.
Yeah.
There was some, but it was much harder to just passively experience what was happening if you didn't want to do this pamphlet.
Yes.
Which, is slightly unfortunate because, like you, I just wanted to vibe out for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I found that kind of hard. But, I understand that this experience isn't for vibing out. I just wish that there was an opportunity to do something along those lines, given the historic nature of the location.
Yeah.
Because they gotta know people are just going there just because
Just
of that,
to be there. Yeah.
Just to be there.
Which was half more than half the reason why I went.
Yeah. I recorded a 30-second video of just ambiance.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to just have that.
Yeah.
Because when's the next
there.
time I'm gonna freaking be there?
Exactly.
So I don't know. I really, really enjoyed this. Oh, the other thing I have to say before we move on is, as we were leaving to the big reveal, I leaned over to the kiddo and I was like, "Oh, look, Scooby's in the window." This experience was severely lacking Scooby-Doo, which is weird for it being called Scooby-Doo. And she's like, "He was at the beginning." I was like, "Yeah, but that's not enough."
Yeah.
Like, we have Scooby-Doo at the front as a photo op and then him at the end in the big reveal. I needed more Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Like, a part of Scooby-Doo is watching him interact with Shaggy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't with Shaggy.
Yeah.
I wanted him to interact with Shaggy.
I think that, it's hard when he can't talk.
Yeah, but I mean, they do it every day in the park.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do it every day in the park. And, the character of Shaggy being a face character has the opportunity to translate and kind of pantomime and interact with Scooby in any way, shape, or form, especially with a guest there.
Maybe it's logistically Scooby-Doo in that costume not being allowed to walk around.
If you got Frankenstein's monster walking around on 6-inch platform boots, you could have Scooby-Doo walking around there as well.
I don't know.
Just
I'm saying
saying.
maybe there's a reason.
You're telling me that it's harder. I sound like Shaggy there for a second. You're telling me that it's... Whoa. You're telling me that it's
Calm
hard...
down.
that it's harder for the person in the Scooby-Doo outfit to walk around Little Europe than it is the person in the Frankenstein's monster outfit?
Yes.
You are... Oh my God, you're so wrong.
Well, see, at least the person in the Frankenstein's monster outfit, yes, he is on platforms, but he is in normal pants. He has full range of motion of his legs. I don't think Scooby-Doo does.
Yeah, but he's not up 6 inches.
Scooby-Doo is locked at the knees.
Yeah, but Frankenstein's wearing high heels,
waddles.
essentially.
Yeah, he waddles, but he has full functioning knees.
And his mask is just as confined as Scooby-Doo's is.
You know what? We'll never know.
Screw you, I'm going to go apply for a job.
Unless,
just so I can prove my point. I would go that far.
Unless people who are, are in possession of that knowledge would like to chime in.
Would you like to let us know which costume is more confining?
Which costume is more difficult to walk
around in? I'm really going to assume Frankenstein.
I'm going to assume Scooby.
Assume?
I'm going to scoop.
I'm going to scoop Scooby.
Scooby-Doo.
Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. Uneven bricks.
Ruh-roh, I have little legs.
My legs are confined, Raggy. My legs. My legs, Raggy.
Okay.
Raggy.
Right.
They ripped my resticles. With that being said, as much as I am, bitching and moaning and griping about these things, I do think that, the combination of the Scooby-Doo IP with the Monsters IP is a match made in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. And with what they were able to cook up and create with those pieces was a very fun experience. Was it Back to the Future? No. But with what we had, I thought it was a very fun experience.
And it was in a unique location.
Very, very, very unique.
It was just awesome to be in.
Yeah. Moving on from that, we're going to go down to the lower lot. Let's talk a little bit about Jurassic. I think it's called Jurassic World: A Journey Through the Ages.
Through the eras.
Through the eras or something of that nature. It is behind the Revenge of the Mummy area. It is where the queue for like Friday the 13th or Jason universe was last year at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes.
And you have the entrance to Jurassic Park with the arch and props from the films and statues of dinosaurs. But most importantly, you have face characters of the characters from the film.
Yes.
This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
This is what you wanted up top.
Exactly. And it honestly was a major highlight for me.
It was fun.
Because I do think that the actors that they got were perfect for their roles, but also just that interaction with them and the joking around and seeing how well they play their characters was a very entertaining thing to do. Even outside of that, they had other characters who weren't even characters from the film walking around, with like a baby velociraptor or an egg, a dinosaur egg, or things like that.
Yeah.
And you could see the characters interact with them. And that was fun too. And then in the back, they bring out like the Triceratops. They have like a raptor escape kind of show that they have back there too, which I think you caught some of.
Yeah,
I really thoroughly enjoyed this area.
Yeah, no, it was so much fun. It was.
I wanted more of it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it could have been expanded. That could have been a backlot like thing.
Where?
Well, where
Back to the Future was.
In Jurassic Park 2, when the dinosaur comes back to the city in the big boat. Just saying.
No, they should have just done Back to the Future and then replaced Marty and everything with a raptor.
Yeah.
Even in the projected like movie scenes.
Yeah.
The raptor's in the DeLorean.
No, but it was a lot of fun. It was fun seeing the sets, and well, not the sets, but like the dinosaurs and the props
and the dinosaurs.
And then in the back they did have these two little show moment type things, and I caught the one where it was the two velociraptors. Like Blue was one of them. They're the dinosaurs that come out during the day.
Yeah.
But it was pretty. I described it to you, but like the little show moment they had was like these two velociraptors escaped their pen, and the two characters that are kind of like what's his name?
Owen
Pratt.
Grady.
Yeah, Owen. And how everyone makes fun of like the hand thing.
Yeah,
how he like controlled Blue with his palm.
And he has. Yeah. Did they have clickers with them?
No.
Or was it only their hands?
I think it was just their hands. I wasn't front row, but I think it was just the hands.
You weren't front row? Ruh-oh.
Front row. But it was fine. I was watching. I was like, yeah, this is fun. But then they completely lost me, and I just have to say, they got us to
they fully committed to the hand
as the audience, and they fully committed to the hand gag where these velociraptors could get controlled by the palm of someone's hand. And
you didn't know that this is part of the Star Wars universe, and they're using the Force push.
They had everyone in the audience use the Force to control these velociraptors.
Hurry, everybody! Put up your hands.
My hands don't scan. Yours do. So they had everyone put up their hands to get these velociraptors to go back to their pens, and I was over there like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Like I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't bring myself to do it. Like no.
Hey,
but
everyone
else did, and there were a lot of people in the audience who were like, like really like putting their might into it, like they were really getting these velociraptors to go back into their pen. So it worked on a lot of people, just not me, and I was trying very hard not to laugh.
Show moment's a show moment.
It worked.
Entertainment's entertainment.
It worked, yeah.
Regardless of how silly.
And I will say, I did say this to you earlier, that the choreography was really good because they had a lot of these, dinosaur wranglers out trying to. Yeah, there were probably like 10 people, like trying to corral these two dinosaurs. And the choreography was really good because the velociraptor would turn and, one of the performers would get like air quotes hit by the tail and would like fall over. So they were really like dodging and, really acting like they were interacting with these characters, dinosaurs in a really like believable way.
Yeah. I'm actually just a little bit disappointed that I missed it. Our night was so busy that there was just no way it was going to happen. I was just thankful that we were able to experience the different characters while we were there.
Yeah.
Because that's a big part of it too. A lot of people were there to watch the dinosaurs. I was there to to watch
Well, the characters were a lot of fun, and I did miss Ian Malcolm.
So they had an Ian Malcolm character who's Jeff Goldblum. They had John Hammond, who was the old guy who owned Jurassic Park, and then they had a Dennis Nedry who was the Wayne Knight character, the one who stole the different vials of dinosaurs inside the shaving cream can.
Yeah.
So each one of them you could interact with, and they interacted with guests as well as like the other kind of like no-name characters with the eggs and everything like that.
Yeah.
I absolutely adored every second of those interactions because they were just so good. The guy playing Ian Malcolm had his Jeff Goldblum down pat. Like, it was so good.
Yeah.
And Dennis Nedry's like, this guy needs a raise. The guy playing Dennis Nedry needs a freaking raise.
Yeah.
Because he like, not only is he playing that character well, but he's having so much fun doing it. I've seen videos of him, dancing to it's not marimbas, but like the metal drum.
The guys playing the music too.
Yeah, the metal drum guys playing music, and he's dancing in front of them. He's interacting with people, like trying to plot to steal dinosaurs. He's holding like the egg that the egg guy's holding. He's like, why is it slimy? That's gross.
One thing after the Velociraptor experience, little show moment thing, I turned around to leave and he was just back there and he's like panting and like up on like the little platform. He's like, you're welcome. You're welcome. That was really close one. Like acting like he like helped.
That's really funny.
It was hilarious.
It was really funny. He is just so good at what he was doing. It was really funny because I heard him doing like that he didn't say the magic word to other people, but we took a picture with him, and the kiddo went over to take a picture with him. He did that thing where you fake put an elbow on someone's head, and she just took 2 inches to the side and moved away. I was like, you're supposed to let him do it. Like, that's the whole point.
She's like,
so I had to shift her back underneath. And then he kind of posed with like his finger there, like, It was great. It was just so much fun. And even the guy playing John Hammond out front, he's like, welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yes.
And we would talk to him, and he was showing the kiddo like his little amber stone on top of his cane. And he was talking about Jurassic Park. I was like, he spared no expense. It's like, just being able to do that, and be silly, I think, is just so much fun.
Yeah.
I had such a blast quoting the movie to the characters. And what I found interesting is that they referred to the movie as the documentary.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah,
that's how they refer to it, because the dinosaur wrangler with the egg was referencing the documentary to the Nedry character, saying like, that's not how you acted in the documentary. You're acting all scared.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That never came up with me, but that's really funny.
It was an interesting way of kind of roping in the story from the movies.
Yeah.
Although if you think about it too hard, why would Nedry be there? Because he died. So
don't think about it
too hard.
Yeah.
Don't think about it too hard. But I honestly would like to see something like that expanded next year. I think that's just because I missed something like Back to the Future, where that was so... It was very much about those interactions.
Yeah.
That I was just craving something like that. So I think that's why I want something more or expanded of the Jurassic Park stuff next year. Like, even if you see like Ellie Sattler or whatever the other guy's name is, the Sam Neill character, even if you get them wrapped into it, or even like an Owen Grady character, that would be fun to have those things. So I'd love to see it expanded. Moving on from that, we have the Dungeons and Dragons Secrets of Waterdeep, which is exactly pretty much what it was last year. You skipped it. We did it because the kiddo didn't know what D&D was. She didn't know what anything was. She was a little nervous, but very excited.
It was fun enough though that like if I had time, I would have done it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I could have had time. I didn't stay till closing, but
yeah.
I'm a tired mom.
You did. So, you did your best.
Yeah,
and I'm proud of you.
But it is fun enough to where if I had more energy, I would have also done that.
Yeah, they changed like a couple little small things here and there, and the actors are fantastic as they were last time. Going to the different rooms, seeing the giant puppets. It's all great.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I felt like I got a lot of interactions this time around, too.
Nice.
With the different characters. And I think it helps being with a 7-year-old.
Yes.
It helps being with a 7-year-old. But, I do like Secrets of Waterdeep. I think if they're going to have a D&D come back, I do think it needs to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think with FanFest Nights, you need to have constant rotation of experiences.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they kept it because that thing was probably not cheap to make.
Yeah.
At all.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see them shift it up, especially given the fact that the IP of Dungeons and Dragons itself is known for being, a vast array of characters and creatures and experiences and stories and everything. It could be randomized. You don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like having a repeat every single time is not deserving of the IP.
Yeah.
So I would love to see it rotated out in terms of stories. Even if you were like trick people and it starts off the same and then it completely turns on its head.
Yeah, no, 100%. Or, there's two different routes you could take, so you didn't know which one you were going to get. Something like that.
Like critical fail. Like you got, you rolled ones.
Yeah.
So you have to go down this path.
There's a gelatinous cube in the middle and few unlucky people will just get stuck there all night.
See, that's super cool. Like, what happens if, like, a gelatinous cube slowly starts to push its way out of, like, the wall, and they're like, you have to go, and it separates the group.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Something along those lines. I do think it needs to change, and I'm not going to go deep into this one because we did talk about this last year, and it basically is the same thing.
Yeah.
But I would like to see some major changes made to the experience next year if it does end up coming back.
Yeah.
So.
And if you haven't done it yet, go do it because it's fun.
It is very, very fun.
Yeah.
Moving on from that,
Yoshi.
we have the last thing that we experienced while we were at FanFest Nights. And this was going into Super Nintendo World and meeting all the different colorful Yoshis. Now, they did bring back that Yoshi kind of scavenger hunt, which if you did it, then you were able to go meet the green Yoshi. At least last year it was a blue or purple Yoshi. This year it was the main green Yoshi, but with Mario.
Yes, which is cool.
Which is super cool. But for me, the appeal of going to see Yoshi is the colored ones.
Yeah. We've met the green one. I was there for the other guys.
Did we meet the green one?
Yeah,
we met the blue one.
Last year.
We met the blue one.
I have a picture with the green one.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't remember you.
I could have sworn I met the green one. If not, I would have done the scavenger thing.
You were 100% right because he was where Toad was.
Yes.
That's where he was.
Yeah.
And the scavenger hunt was to meet a colored one that you didn't know if you were going to meet it or not or whatever it was. But either which way, this year they had when they rotated crew for this, they would all leave, and when they would come back out, they would come from either side of the land. Two Yoshis, two different colors would come from either side of the land to that Yoshi Island's music.
Yeah.
And they would land in the middle where Mario and Luigi would normally take pictures during the day. And they would do their little dance to the music and have like a little show moment. And then they would separate into 4 different areas to take pictures with them.
I'm really sad I missed that. I wish I had hung around a little bit longer, but I met all the Yoshis and I saw no sign of them leaving, so I just left.
Yeah, I think we just really happened to show up at the right moment.
Yeah,
like I'm not even joking. We walked into the land, didn't see him. I saw this line forming, and I looked over to the team members like, "Hey, when do the Yoshis come out?" And he goes, "Right now." Like he looked at his watch on his wrist and he goes, "Right now." And then the music started playing. I was like, "Oh my God, where are they coming from?" And he goes, "Everywhere." and so I just happened to get a really good spot to see all of it happen. And then the kiddo was just enthralled.
Oh yeah,
running from each one to each one, and she had wanted her favorite one, the pink one. She wanted to meet that one, but she was like, "Oh no, there's no line for this one. Let's go to this one now. Let's go to this one now." Just pumped to meet the Yoshis, and each Yoshi had kind of like almost like a little bit of a different character to them. Some were a little bit more peppier than other ones, and other ones a little bit more chill. Like I just thought it was fun. It was a really cute addition to Super Nintendo World to have that.
Yeah.
And I love to see them expand. Like next year doesn't have to be Yoshi's. Maybe it's Daisy. Or maybe it's Bowser Jr. because there's a Bowser Jr. kind of experience. True. Something that just expands.
Yeah, you could definitely find something else to do.
Yeah. Even if they were to bring like the piranha plants to life, like a Goomba or something, like, like a puppet, like a puppet creature that looks like a piranha plant, or meeting King Boo. I don't know. There's plenty of characters within the sphere of Super Nintendo and Mario that you could bring to life in the theme park space.
Yeah, and make it special for FanFest nights.
FanFest nights. And I would love to see them expand on it because I do. Oh, man, I love the Yoshi so much.
They're amazing.
You bought a shoulder buddy one.
I did. I bought the pink shoulder buddy, and I also bought like a mystery pin set. Mm-hmm. I love Yoshi so much.
You do.
If anyone had seen our stories from that night, I was like decked out head to toe in Yoshi gear, and then I added a shoulder buddy on my hat, my Yoshi bucket hat.
Pretty much.
And oh my gosh,
the Yoshi threw up on Mickey.
The Yoshi merch this year was so good. There was this like satchel backpack that I really wanted. It was like a Yoshi. It was like hugging you. It was so cute.
To be fair, there was a lot of merch that you had sent pictures to me of and or posted about. They were like, "Oh my god, I need this."
Well, I also wanted the Jurassic Park Loungefly backpack
because it had like a velociraptor, but the flap on the front of the backpack was a leaf, and you could see the eyeball of the velociraptor.
It was Clever Girl.
It was a Clever Girl backpack. Nikki's crying.
But no, all the Yoshi stuff was so good.
It was really cute.
They had hats and shirts and like everything. And I really liked the bag. But I got the shoulder buddy.
He's right there looking at us right now.
He's staring at us. I got the pink one because I knew that our daughter would like him.
Right above our signed picture of the Shape from Halloween.
Yes.
Our shelf right there is a hodgepodge of themes.
We also have Woody Woodpecker in the tram.
In the glamour
tram.
And on top of that is a shoulder buddy of Woodstock from Knott's Berry Farm and a shoulder buddy of a raven from the Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
It's a lot of things.
There's also a Wicked popcorn bucket.
There is. That one I got for you. I digress about our shelf.
And our wands. Our wands are there too.
I forgot our wands were there.
That's a nerdy shelf.
Whoops. Anyway. I had a great time.
Yeah, me too.
I think that last year's event was better because of Back to the Future? Not necessarily. I do think that they made up for Back to the Future with, Hippogriff and Scooby-Doo.
And One Piece.
Yeah. I think that those three definitely made up for Back to the Future, but none of them alone match up to what that Back to the Future experience was.
Yes, I agree.
There's plenty of room for FanFest nights to expand and grow and get better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room for more IPs and more experiences, and that's the exciting part about this. And I mentioned it last year, but it's like we have like 2 seasons of announcements now because we have the HHN season of announcements and now we have FanFest nights announcements. And seeing which IPs are going to be coming to FanFest nights now is a whole nother piece of the excitement.
It's very exciting.
It's very, very exciting. I know that last year we talked about a lot of different IPs that we're excited for and things that we think could work at the event. And I'm sure we have opinions still now today. My brain just is running through the different possibilities of things.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Power Rangers show up in some form.
Whoa.
Like that would be absolutely incredible.
That'd be cool. And now it's like when we go through a year, every horror movie that comes out, you're like, oh, that'd be great as a house.
Yeah.
And now, a new movie comes out and you're like, that'd be great for FanFest nights. So it's like it's a lot more to think about now. It's fun.
There is a lot more to think about. And I just love the vibes of FanFest nights as well.
Yeah.
It is a completely different thing than Horror Nights in many ways, but it is just a carefree, fun environment.
Yeah.
And it is just such a blast to go. And I am very happy to see that they've expanded in certain areas. I'm glad that they have realized their shortcomings from the first year. It really shows that they're listening to guest feedback in certain areas.
Yeah.
So, FanFest Nights, I think, has plenty of room to grow, and I'm very excited to see where it goes from here. Given the successful nature of these different IPs, I guarantee you freaking One Piece is coming back. Like, there's no way it's not coming back.
Yeah.
Absolutely no way.
It's too popular. And I mean, that's fine.
Oh, I don't care.
I think it's a great addition, and I think it's the perfect use of the Waterworld set, so might as well.
Exactly. And it gives me an opportunity to go see it.
Yeah.
If they bring it back next year.
I'm pretty sure they will.
I hope so.
Even if they change the story a little bit.
Well, anyway, that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Now, I don't know what our schedule looks like for our episodes, but, you know, we're just happy to be back and sit down and have a conversation about FanFest Nights and release an episode for all of you. We know that you missed us. Thank you.
Yeah.
And missed these episodes and these little chats about the themed entertainment world. So hopefully we're going to be able to continue on a normal bi-weekly basis. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how things go, but we're going to try our best to release episodes on a bi-weekly basis like we have in the past. But, you know, follow us on social media because that's where we're going to be posting all the information regardless of, or all the information about what our release schedule is going to look like moving forward from here.
Yes.
So, thank you everybody for tuning into this week's episode. Hopefully you got some like hints and tips on how to approach this event or things that you're excited for and got you more excited for and things of that nature. If you guys want to support the show in a free way, you can always leave us a 5-star written review on iTunes. Like I said, it's a free way to support the show. It raises up higher in the standings. It makes it easier for everyone to find us and enjoy us like you are right now. If you want to follow us on social media, you can always follow us at Theme Park Duo on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and all the other fun platforms, Threads, Blue Sky, things of that nature. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to let us know which costume is harder to walk, you can always email us at
themeparkduo@gmail.com.
Thank you again, everybody, once again for enjoying this week's episode, and always remember, there's always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
See ya.
Thanks for riding with the Theme Park Duo. Make sure to gather all your belongings before the end of the podcast. Bye-bye.